Welcome. My name is Giovanni Medina. I'm with OBMI. We are based in Miami and we have offices throughout the Caribbean and two offices in the Middle East, Riyadh and Dubai. Today I'm going to be talking about beyond COVID 19. And why beyond? Because we are at a point that we have learned, we are innovating, and we are creating lasting solutions. Today I'm going to be talking to you about our philosophy, who is at high risk, short-term solutions, and long-term planning solutions. At OBMI, we envision a world where hotels can provide a restorative, wholesome environment. A world where no matter how bad the exterior air quality is, you can come to a hotel lobby and breathe fresh, nourishing air. Hotels already create places that reset us and rejuvenate us. Can we create places that become a haven where purity and cleanliness of air quality is guaranteed? A place to go to instead of avoiding. So why the baby boomers? The baby boomers are ages 55 through 75 and they are at high risk. But why are they important to us? Well, they contribute to 80% of the spending of luxury travel. 80%. They represent $157 billion in travel. They outspend millennials and Generation X. So it is essential that we make sure that we make this group feel safe and comfortable to come to our hotels. We're going to be talking about some short-term solutions. Improving indoor air quality and hygiene, temperature detection, hands-free interactions, self-check-ins and check-outs, distances, antimicrobial materials, reducing horizontal surfaces, perception of cleanliness, and providing guest cleaning options. Indoor air quality has become very important and prevalent now with COVID-19. As you know, the average person breathes 3,000 gallons of air a day. When you compare that to the 3 to 5 pounds of food that we eat a day and the amount of energy that we're putting into what we eat, we have to step back and really consider the air we're breathing. COVID-19 with viruses now are making really conscious of what we are breathing and the quality of it. And we have to consider that this virus now lives in the air for 3 hours as an aerosol, which now begins to make us question what our air conditioning systems are doing. And most of our air conditioning systems do not have the proper filtration systems for viruses and bacteria. So we need to now begin to consider that, because that virus is now absorbed and begin to be thrown out in the air. As we look for solutions, we are finding answers through cross-pollination. The healthcare industry has been working with viruses and disinfecting for over decades. So it's now important to look at them as a reference, and they have been using UV light and vapor sterilization to sanitize emergency rooms, operating rooms, and patient rooms. UVC light is a great example of innovation through cross-pollination. It kills up to 99.97% of bacteria and viruses. It's begun to be used throughout Asia, from disinfecting buses to airplanes and offices. One of the downsides to UV light is that people cannot be exposed to it, so the use of robots is becoming crucial, like the example of what Weston is doing with the robot that's being used to clean and disinfect rooms. Another great example of innovation throughout cross-pollination is hydrostatic disinfectant vapor, which hospitals have been using in operating rooms. This technology is now being used mostly in the West by the airline industry, and you can see an example of Marriott to disinfect the rooms. These chemicals are EPA approved and they're safe to breathe. As we all know, temperature testing is very critical. It's been done throughout every country that's opening, and you can't get into any location without your temperatures being taken. This is quite an intrusive procedure, and it could be mitigated if we begin to use infrared cameras, which are being used already in airports throughout Asia, creating a less intrusive and more welcoming arrival. Antimicrobial materials are coming to the forefront because of the virus and the consideration of absorption of materials. Copper has been looked at because the virus only lasts 4 hours on the surface as opposed to other metals. This is good, but when you consider high traffic areas and the amount of disinfecting that will need to be done, it really needs to be thought through. There are other materials that be considered for other applications. The perception of cleanliness and hygiene is very critical because no matter what you are doing, what protocols you have in place, if people don't see it, they won't believe it. So it's important that you showcase this. If you put out your protocols, create infographics, let people know. If you have one of those cleaning robots, bring it to the lobby. Let people see it. You know, it's also important to let people have the opportunity to clean themselves. Allow them to have the materials. Some people, no matter how clean the environment is, they want to clean things for themselves. You can also create a culture around cleanliness and a ritual. The Japanese culture do not bring in the shoes into their houses. This is beginning to happen a lot with COVID-19. I don't bring my shoes in. My friends have their outdoor shoes and their indoor shoes. This is something that is already in people's consciousness. So a hotel can create a new ritual in which you leave your shoes at the door. Maybe you're given a bag and you put the shoes in the bag, and you are given your slippers when you arrive. And you're letting them know that you are making sure that they come into a safe, clean environment. Leverage technology to create a hands-free environment. A lot of people are tech savvy, and this is really, easy for them. A lot of hotels have already started this, have the automatic door, let people check in, give them the room number, give them the QR code. They come in, they go up the elevator, they scan at the door. One of the key things to consider is the older generation and how easy you make this new softwares and technology for them. Distancing is something that we are all now getting used to. It's in our minds, and it will probably stay around for a bit. Everybody is very conscious about their personal bubble. It is important that in lobbies, which are very big spaces, we create intimate nooks in which you still have a communal sense, but you also create these zones that maybe with screens you begin to divide to create privacy so that people know to respect those areas and you feel safe within those little nooks yourself as well. It is important to avoid crowd creation. It is also now very critical to keep in mind mental health as we design. As we separate, we need to create environments that are warm and still inviting for our guests. Outdoor seating is very important. People have always welcomed it. Also essential is to begin to decentralize, not bring attention to the lobby. We are entering a period in which luxury is beginning to be redefined. Up to recently, luxury equaled personalized attention. But how many people do we really want handling our food, our luggage, and our car? Do we want so much contact now? So that brings us to the foreground, robots. In Asia, robots are beginning to be used as personal butlers. This reminds me of Star Wars with R2-D2. Are butler robots the new symbol of luxury? In Singapore, they are being implemented at the Jan Hotel and as well in the US at the Yotel Hotel in Boston. As we begin to isolate and most likely stay longer in our rooms, the latest trend in hospitality of creating smaller rooms and bigger public areas, it's gonna be flipped. Most likely, we are gonna start looking at bigger, more flexible rooms and smaller public areas. You can see a great example by Westin, the workout room, in which they provide exercise equipment. There's also a great option that could be the mirror, in which someone can exercise and access infinite amount of workouts. As many of us work from home nowadays, is video conferences something that is going to become key part of our hotel rooms. The Marriott Hotel is beginning to change spaces into smaller rooms that could be rented by the hour as meeting office spaces for the guest. As designers, we are problem solvers. So as you can see, there are short-term and long-term solutions to how to approach this. As a recap, we should improve indoor air quality, disinfect either with UVC light or hydrostatic vapor, use portable air purifiers in large spaces. We can use infrared cameras for fever detection, reduce horizontal surfaces, leverage technology to create hands-free transition from lobby to room, self-check-in and check-out, antimicrobial materials, and remember, very key, the perception of cleanliness. Provide additional cleaning materials for your guests. As people prefer less contact, keep in mind that the concept of luxury is evolving. Decentralize as much as possible and create wonderful outdoor seating areas for your guests. My name is Giovanni Medina. This was Beyond COVID-19. Thank you and stay safe.